and the bad characters of the past. And so definitely it will link to the West, and not just the West, a few other people also, a few other individuals might not necessarily be of the West, but had that same sort of character. It was something that it was something that was commonly done at the time, as I've just said. But it's more closer to see that the West held on to it more strongly. And so they held on to it to the extent that we recently clearly remember what we call slaves and all the slave trade and all those. It came as a result of that. I mean, if a human being is not that mean, would he put his other fellow being through such a process or such a tight and difficult act? No. But today the West won't do that. Today, even if the West would do that, they have to do it in a very smart way that it will not be noticed. But hardly, because the way things have been implemented, that is the democratic way of doing things and all that, it's hard for such things to go on. And it's no more of the kings and the queens where they have a permanent rule, until somebody comes to topple the king and take the king off and take over. Apart from that, it was just a one authoritative dictatorship rule at that time. And so as I said, ruling corrupts, staying in power for as long as you want to really corrupts people. Today we're having the same problem. Libya, Iraq, so many countries which are of dictators or people who want to stay in power forever, ended up being so corrupt and mean, and exercising that godly nature, had no respect for anyone, and they feel within themselves that nothing is above them, and in their uncontrollable states, ends them up provoking outsiders for them to topple them down. So you can see that this is what is happening. This is what is happening now, and the same thing went on at that time. But the same Western people, Western group of nations have in their strength, because as the generation has changed, we all have grown out of that. So you might end up, have been in a developing country or a developing, state, but you may have somebody who is your classmate in Oxford University, and probably you are a minister in a developing country, and he is probably a president or a minister in a developed country from the West. But you sort of have friends with that person because you've learned the same thing. You've sort of shared ideas and realized that these things were not good. So it is that new generation of kind hearts, which has developed as a result of realizing the facts of life, realizing the meanness that was existing at that time, and they are bringing changes to life. They are changing things, and it became necessary for democracy to be implemented, and on. You can see all the changes coming in. So I stress on the past, just as it's the laws and the changes are also trying to deplete to us and speak to us, telling us that those things were not good. That is why it is necessary for the changes. So I have put it in words, verbally, whereby in the advanced world that we live in, it has been put in a written statement. But not everybody can find a written statement. Not people can read. Not everybody can read, right? Not everybody can know what is being done. I don't know all the laws. I can put it all in my head. So in a way, I'm contributing in my small way, verbally reaching out to people. There are people who can speak English but cannot write. So it's a chance for other people also to know the facts of life. So if I stress on that based on the facts that I've got laid before me, which to my own personal viewpoint, I think it is necessary for us to see that those meanness that was happening at that time should not even be tolerated today, for us to allow, that kind of putting other people down so low, making people feel so low, that low life, being placed into a low life state should be encouraged, in life, or should go on, because it depletes and portrays other people in certain ways that even your fellow human being might underlooked, or will not give you that kind of equal respect that you probably expect from your fellow neighbor. So it is necessary that we look into that. That is why I address this in my video. It is no offense, or nobody should even be offended by what I put out there or what I'm trying to put out here in the video. I'm expressing my honest opinion about something which it's already been expressed by the law and also by verbal means by other people, that good people who has also done their best to make this possible. So it is. And if I said, if you don't stress on the roots of these problems and explain how it came about and how it happened, you can move forward. You cannot. I won't be able to sort of make you understand what the video is about. I won't be able to let you understand, my opinion on the points that I'm trying to put forward to you. I won't be able to explain well enough why I think religion is construed, why I think it is not doing the right thing, why I think things are not moving in the right direction. I had to give you all this analysis. I had to draw those things up. So your attentiveness must be that patience to stay, because I know I'm not just speaking to just people of my kind, people slightly of a different kind also, which I will use slightly different of a kind, but we are all the same. Those irrelevant, trivia differences that we have, that we dwell upon, they are not very much important, but I had to say it that way for you to get a picture. But at the end of the day, yes, if you are the type that feels that your skin color becomes a problem to me, then we have an issue there. So it becomes an issue for me to express and say to you that, hey, that is not an issue for your color or your looks or anything of that nature to be an issue between what I'm addressing to you. We are all one now. We are all having, and that oneness should not be breaking. It should keep on. We should be on that trend, and we will debate on things, and this is a form of debate. It's just that you're not getting back to me. But yeah, it's a form of debate. There's comments. You can always comment back. But apart from that, you can know that you and I have already accepted that bonding. I've got so many friends of white, of black, of all nature. The only way that will make a person be so distant away from me or me be isolated from anybody is based on the person's belief and norms and moral standards, whether the person has got a religious background, which people mostly do, whether they got cultural background, which people mostly do. Those things is what separates people from each other. And if I am separate from you based on my cultural background, I may be sociable, I may have all those things, but my sociability will be based on the opposite end, whether they are also sociable. But if what they know or what information they've got does not allow them to be closer to me, it's impossible for me to be close to them, because I will not put myself in fire. I will do that, because when people believe in something, they have information, they hold on to it. It is hard to get through to them unless they willingly come through some experience and they decide to change. Without that experience and getting to that, it's hard to change people. People make their own mind up. They have the ability to do those. So it is my prayer and my wish that people will get to that experience. It is that experience that I have gone through, making me come to this state of saying all these things and addressing these issues. Because for some time I wasn't addressing these issues. I didn't even think about things the way I didn't think of the way that I didn't think of things the way I'm thinking of it now. I had a different view altogether in life. I really held on to something that I thought was real, was true, and it wasn't. I can go to bed and kiss Bible before I go to sleep, thinking that it's going to give me, some sort of protection or what the best. But now I don't. Why? Because of my realization. Maybe somebody with the Quran also hold the Quran and kiss it and sleep and thinks that it'll give him the sense of protection or give her the sense of protection. But he fails. They realize that no, until he go through and that person go through an experience, they don't come to that point. There are people who have come from, prison cells like what do you call it? The prisons of what Guantanamo Bay. And the experience they go through, they come out, they realize that now they change from their strong sense of belief, of serving of Allah and all that. There's so many accounts that I come across. There are others that through their own personal experiences. There's this woman who has an Islamic background, had to change. She was even a parliamentarian in somewhere in one of the European countries. Now she's seeking as his residence now in the United States, seeking protection at all time, writing a lot of book, And